So hey everyone, welcome again on David Stack channel. So in the last video, we created this backend project, okay, and we set up our initial root API endpoint and we tested it, okay. Now it's time to connect this backend server with the MongoDB Atlas server, okay. And you don't know about the MongoDB Atlas, so it's a cloud hosted database provider. Like we have a database called MongoDB, right? And to use a MongoDB, either we can install the MongoDB on your local system, okay? So all the data which you will going to store, that will going to store inside the your system only, okay? And no one can access that data from their own system. Suppose you added the uh, products in your local MongoDB, then other user, how they will going to access this, okay. So we need to host our database in some cloud platform like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure. But for MongoDB, the MongoDB company itself created a cloud platform, that is a MongoDB Atlas, where you can host your MongoDB server, okay. So that's a brief idea about the MongoDB Atlas, okay. So in the MongoDB Atlas, the database is hosted in the cloud server, okay. And how you will configure this MongoDB account, okay. So when you open the cloud.mongodb.com, then you have to log in with this MongoDB Atlas website. Then you have to create a cluster. I already have created a cluster, okay. But when you first log in this website, then you have to create a cluster, okay. And that is a process, and that process I already covered in one of my video. That video is this. I will put this video link in the description. Please go and watch it. So after you will create a cluster, let's continue this thing, okay. So till the creating a cluster, watch the video. After creating a cluster, we have to connect this MongoDB Atlas server to our backend server, right? So I clicked on a connect button, and here we have an option like connect your application, and here we have an option to copy this code. This code is extremely important. With help of this link only, we will going to connect our backend server to the MongoDB Atlas server, okay. Let me copy this thing, and what we have to do is after copy this thing, we have to go on our, where is our server? Here we have the server, and the next thing we have to do, we have to import the Mongoose package, okay. I will get back to this .env thing later, but first let me use the Mongoose package, Mongoose, and we have to use the required keyword to import the Mongoose package to our index.js file. Now we have the Mongoose package, okay. Now what we have to do, that with help of the Mongoose only, we're going to interact with the MongoDB database or MongoDB Atlas server. So just after you import the Mongoose package, let's connect our backend with the MongoDB Atlas database. And you don't have to do anything. You just copy the link, you have to paste it, and you have to provide the exact password and exact database name. So if you go here, then you will find a description that replace password with the password of your login credential, okay. Or at the time of creating this cluster, you will provide some password, so you have to replace that thing with this, okay. And replace the database name, okay. So we have to do this, we have to replace these two things. You will get everything about this thing in this video. Please watch that video very carefully, so you will be on a track, okay. So here in our code, we have to replace the password and the database name. So for the password, what I'm doing that I'm not going to show you my exact password. Okay, so I will show you that here in the .env. First I have created .env file, and in the .env file I'm going to put my password like this. You have to provide the environment variable name, and you have to put the password like this. Okay, and suppose the name I'm just choosing is the MongoDB password. Okay, so you have to provide your password which you will going to set up during the sign up or creating the cluster. So here you have to put your password. Okay, and after putting your password on an environment file, you have to come in the index.js file. Okay, but before that you have to install one package, because this is a local environment file. Okay, and we wanted to use that local environment file in our Node.js server. So there is a package called .env. So you have to just do the npm install .env, and it will going to install the .env package. And then in the index.js file you have to import it like this, require.env.config. Okay, now here you can use your password which you just added on .env file. Suppose your environment variable name is this, and you have added the password over here. To use it, you have to first do like this. It's a string interpolation, and where we need to add the password, I just forgot, just after the, okay, just after this colon. Okay, so here I'm going to put the password, and the password we will going to get from the process.env dot the name MongoDB password which we created. Okay, so I'm not hitting the Control S because I already set up a password in the env file. So this was the env variable name. Okay, so this was the first thing. So I have provided the password, and we are fetching it from the .env file. Okay, now it's time to replace this database name. Okay, to replace this database name, first we have to create a database. Okay, so let's create a dedicated database for this Mintra clone. So first I will go on the collections, browse collection, and here inside the collection I have earlier blog db switch on debug. Okay, but for this case I'm going to create a Mintra db. Okay, and now we have the collection Mintra db. Don't worry about this collection as of now, just worry about this database name, because we have to provide this database name over here. So the database name was Mintra db. Okay, so this is the database name, you have to confirm it, Mintra db. Okay, now we have like connected it, but after clicking on a hit the save, we are not able to know that yes we are connected or not. Let's create a acknowledge function, like a callback function, that after connecting with the database, let's console log something. Okay, so it will help us to know that everything is working fine or not. So for that I'm going to create a connection. Okay, and I'm going to create mongoose.connection. Okay, and I'm going to create a callback function, is that if the connection is happen once the connection is happen, okay, and there will be an event called open, and in this event I will going to call back a function, and in this function after making a connection I wanted to console log one thing, that MongoDB connection is successful. So it will give us a callback that everything is working fine. So here you can see that MongoDB connection successful, which means we are able to make a contact. We are able to make a connection between this backend server with the MongoDB server. So this thing and everything is work perfectly. Okay, we provided everything over here. It's a perfect. Okay, so whenever if you will get something error over here, which means either you are providing a wrong password or either you are providing a wrong database name. Okay, so this is the process that how you can connect your backend server with the MongoDB Atlas server. Okay, but please first watch this video and it will help you to understand the connection. Okay, now the next thing we have to talk about is login REST API endpoint. Okay, so before we will create a login REST API endpoint, we have to first do the routing. Okay, so what exactly meaning of the routing? Okay, so in the last video what we did that we just hit this endpoint localhost colon 3000. It's like endpoint slash. Okay, so in the code you will find that we have added this slash endpoint. Okay, so suppose we create a new endpoint called login, and here we will show a login. Okay, so if I will hit a login endpoint, then you will find a new text called login and hi emoji. Okay, so this is a new endpoint, right? And we can create multiple endpoint like this: login, register, or anything. Okay, register or anything. Similarly, for the creating a profile, we have a different endpoint. Like we will need a create profile endpoint. Okay, or getting a profile, like getting the profile data, we will need a get profile endpoint. So as we grow, the endpoint of the front end or a back, the endpoint of the app will also grow. Okay, so suppose we have login, register, get profile, create profile, or cart, order. There is much more endpoint will become in a future. Okay, so to handle this thing, like we can't put every route detail inside the index.js file, right? We have to create a new folder called routes. Okay, and we have to route the specific endpoint from the index.js file to their dedicated JS file. Okay, like this is an index.js file. It's a main building, it's entry point for our backend server. So everything you hit in a browser or in a front end first come into index.js file. It will try to find out the endpoint in the index.js file. If it will not find, then we have to route it to the specific routing file. Suppose for login, let's create a route file called login.routes.js. Okay, so this is a dedicated file for the login. So suppose if we have a register endpoint, the code of the register endpoint we will put here, or suppose we have a login endpoint, we have to put the login endpoint code here. Similarly, in future, if we create a order endpoint or placing a order, getting a order, those kind of code we will put inside the order.routes.js. Okay, So that's a criteria, and we have to write some code to navigate a login related endpoint to the, we have to route the login related endpoint to the login route.js. Okay, so that is a routing. So all the endpoint will hit the index.js, and from the index.js we have to route back to the dedicated JS file where we wrote the endpoint related code for those file. Okay, so that's routing, and we have to handle it. Okay, so to handle the routes related code, what we have to do is we have to use this app. Okay, this app object of the Express, and Express.js have a .use function, and with help of that .use function we will route the endpoint. Okay, so that thing we will do in our next video. That first we will going to create the endpoints of the login, and we will route to the login endpoint from the index.js. Okay, in the next video. Till that, please don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video and share the video. Thank you all. Happy coding.